Hey there, Jeff Manchester, Manchester Music. Welcome. I know we talk a lot about important gear and tools and tech and stuff to try or buy on this channel, but there's something that I think is even more important than all that stuff combined, especially in the long run for emerging creatives. But before I get into the advice, I want to take a step back and give some context for this one. So this year, 2022, a lot of amazing stuff happened in my life. But perhaps the best thing is that I got married. My wedding was amazing, but in some ways it was bittersweet. Sweet because obviously my wife said yes and I got to have a big party for the people that I care about, but bitter because not everyone that I thought was going to be at the wedding ended up at the wedding. Something I haven't really talked about much on this channel is my life way before this channel ever started. I moved around a lot, every 2 years, in fact. I had to kind of reinvent myself over and over and make friends over and over. And this was before Facebook and email made it really easy to stay in touch. But I did the best I could the older I got to better maintain those important connections. But some of those connections slipped away, as they sometimes do. You have a falling out, or you get ghosted and spend the rest of your life wondering what it is you did or said that caused things to sour, if you did or said anything in the first place. Also, other people just change. A wedding is supposed to be a gathering of all these important people in one place that are cheering you on as you commit to someone else. But many people were missing from mine. People who, if a future version of myself time traveled and told me I would no longer be in my life, I would refuse to believe. Even some members of my own family, direct family, were missing from my wedding. Not because they're dead, they're still around. My sister, for example, my only sibling, chose not to come. Neither did my aunt on my mom's side. Think about that for a minute. The point I'm trying to build to is that life is amazing and sometimes heartbreaking, and there's a lot of change, but the person you choose to spend your life with, if you make that choice at all with a formal marriage or an informal union, they're not just the person you'll spend the rest of your life with. That person is the person you'll spend the most of your life with. If you think about it, your parents, you'll probably be with them for like 20 years in that direct kind of care, maybe less. And then you do your own thing. You still talk to them, but it's not like before. Your kids, if you choose to have them, they'll be in your life for about the same amount of time. Your friends, well, look around you and ask yourself if they'll still be in your life in 5, 10, 15 years. They have lives of their own. And, it'll take work to keep them close as they were now or before or whatever. And life starts to do its own thing and mess that up. But your partner, assuming you meet them when you're relatively young, let's say 20, 25, you'll be with them, hopefully, until you're both old and gray. Both of you. Assuming you meet at 25 and are lucky, let's say, to live and stay married until 85, that's 60 years. Longer than you'll spend one-on-one with your friends, with your parents, and with your kids. So here's my advice. Make sure you pick the right person, not just in terms of like physical attraction or emotional intimacy. Make sure that they know who you are as a creative and are ready to support you through that journey, because they're the person who you'll be with for the most of your life. I can remember my wife, my girlfriend at this time, putting on a silly costume as I made my dumb vocal synth video for Isotope. I'll leave it in the description if you're new to the channel. We did that in my literally cockroach-infested apartment in downtown Toronto. I can remember her helping me install these acoustic panels above my head. I can remember her saving me from destroying professional relationships because I had the forethought to ask her to read a couple of tasty emails before I fired them off to people I was working with. And that support isn't just going one way. I help her any way that I can with her creative stuff. She happens to run an online store. She's selling crockery and apparel and all that stuff. It's just really important that the person you're with, if you're thinking of committing to them for the rest of your life, is someone who knows who you are and, most importantly, what you hope to become, whether it's a beat maker or a composer or a lyricist, because it's a path of uncertainty. There's no pension, there's no benefits, there's no guarantees that you're going to make it big or even make a living, which, by the way, making it big is making a living now. For like artists, that's your making it big. Anyway, the person you're with, I think, should feel just as supported by you and want to be ready to help you make your way to the top of the mountain, whatever that mountain happens to be. They shouldn't be hoping that you'll snap out of it and go back to finish your degree in like architecture or whatever. Anyway, life is strange and interesting, but just remember, the person you choose to be with isn't just the person you'll be with for the rest of your life. It's someone you'll spend the most of your life with. That's it. That's the end of the video. There's links below if you want to support me. Otherwise, guys, have a great end of this year, and I will see you in the next year.